So hey Dane, I made a soundboard, an NHL soundboard.
Of what?
Well, okay, it's not an NHL soundboard. It's my two favorite sounds in the NHL. Here they are right now.
THOMAS TATAR.
That's it. That's all you needed an NHL soundboard.
THOMAS TATAR. THOMAS TATAR. THOMAS TATAR.
Welcome to Puck Talk.
Here's what you need to know in hockey this week.
First up, Milan Lucic. Guess what? Who would have thought? He's a hothead.
Boarding call with 80 seconds left. He got decked by Emlyn 4 minutes in. He tried to run Parento and he just held a grudge all game. Speaking of violence, Voynov pulls a Varlamov, gets arrested for domestic abuse. So what's happening there?
I don't know what's going on here. Maybe Voynov would be better in the land of the idiots, the NFL. They're beating their wives. They can't play hockey like these good old Canadian boys. But listen, the league suspended him indefinitely, which is great. And I think he should stay suspended indefinitely if they find out that he's guilty.
So coming into this season, everyone thought that Bernier would be the starter. Loses a couple games. Reimer gets the go-ahead. What's happening there? Who's their number one?
I don't know right now, but I like that Reimer's back and competitive. Hockey's as much a mental game as it is a physical game. And when you lose a 4-1 game, when you're leading in the third period in Game 7, and you're the goalie in net, that's got to get to your head a little bit. And I think we saw that happening last season. But so far, Reimer's doing really good.
So do you think he's like past that though? Like, is he mentally capable of winning hockey?
Maybe it's too early to tell, but he's looking great so far. Dane!
Sam!
Hurry up! While we're talking about the Leafs, surprisingly enough, they're having some competition for defense roles.
Gardner being the healthy scratch, sitting in the press box for a couple games, letting rookie Percy. What do you think of Percy?
I mean, he was great. He was arguably one of the best players so far defensively for the Leafs. They wanted to sit Robidas, they did for a game, because he was, the weakest link there for a little bit.
What do you think? Like, what's your overall opinion on him?
I mean, it's good to have that veteran presence, but at the same time, if you're not going to play up to par, it's weird to sit someone who you just gave the assistant captaincy to, so it's tough to say.
You good? You gonna throw up?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Speaking of surprises, the Islanders are doing great right now. They have a 4-1 record 5 games into the season.
Islanders management team finally making good moves, signing Boychuk and Leddy right before the season began.
They also got Halak, who I think is a genuine good starter in this league.
He's playing
For
unreal.
Once, Rick DiPietro? Nope.
After dealing multiple key players and making just shitty offseason moves,
they passed on Luongo, they passed on Jokinen, they passed on Chara, they passed on Spezza.
They traded Vanek, they got nothing in return. They just made a couple good moves and they finally have a core group that can play hockey.
Also, former Leafs, Kuhlman and Grabowski, they've really rounded this team out around their man, the legend, John Tavares.
Speaking of which, check this out.
Tavares now pulling up. He can score!
What a dangle! And listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's our shot of the week. Actually, this is our shot of the week.
I feel like John Tavares.
Warm inside from my good deeds.
Another surprise for this season is Boston and St. Louis, both underperforming.
Yeah, it's really strange. Boston's been a great team for years. St. Louis came up really hot last season.
And they made some good, they're supposed to take another run at the Cup. I think with Boston, it's kind of a shift in leadership. They're giving their younger players much larger roles. Like I said before, they sent Johnny Boychuk out to make room for Riley Smith and Torrey Krug, both very young assets to the team. They just can't get it together.
Yeah, hopefully they can. It's really early so far, so maybe these teams are going to turn it around. Another team that's doing really good is Nashville. They haven't lost in regulation yet.
Yeah, Shea Weber's got to be happy about that. It's got to be hard being a captain in Nashville.
You're in Nashville. Right. Only Carrie Underwood cares about your team.
Shea Weber's playing better than ever, and they're getting a lot of performance out of their long-term prospect, Forsberg. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this season with a strong start.
So that's pretty much everything that happened last week, but here's the things to look forward to this week.
Jonathan Drouin, longtime prospect, making his NHL debut this week with Tampa Bay.
And another good game that's coming up is Toronto and Ottawa. I mean, Battle of Ontario is always quite the interesting spectacle.
And last but not least, Philly and Pittsburgh, 2 rivals, always a good game. Now it's time for comments of the week,
Where we take the best comments off YouTube and we read them to you. Let's get started.
This first one comes from PK Subban scoring out of the box. Apparently he had a lot of time. What the flying fuck? Why do nobody seem to give a shit that he was left alone for like 24 hours straight to make that goal? Like he literally had enough time to get off the ice, make a coffee, watch the extended edition of Lord of the Rings trilogy, come back on the ice, score a goal before Colorado's defense got to him. They actually never did. Good goal still. He did have a lot of time.
Alright, this one's about the Lucic blow-up. This guy's literally the definition of a meathead. He is just so bad and such a scumbag. Someone needs to hit him in the head with a truck full of bricks.
That's a lot of bricks. How do you do that?
Too many. It's not going to hit your head, that's going to hit all of you.
I think it's just an absurd amount of bricks.
He's exaggerating. It's poetic license.
Speaking of poetic, an evolving ape wrote this about Jonathan Tavares' shootout goal. That was filthier than your Uncle Jim's porn collection.
That is pretty filthy. Now it's time for the question of the week. Who's more reliable in Toronto right now, Reimer or Bernier?
Love to hear from you guys, so leave a comment down below. So that's it for this week. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below. Make sure you share and subscribe.
And follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or you can go to our brand new website at puck-talk.com.
That's it for this week. Until next, cheers.
Cheers.
Chug, 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 chug!